Security chiefs meet in Abuja. Vehicle owners willing to comply with tinted glass use suspension. Traders clash with revenue officials in Abia State. I'm Aisha Salihu, and here is Trust TV News Update. A commandant with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps attacked by bandits on Kuje-Gwagwalada Road on Sunday is dead. NSCDC Commandant General Ahmed Audi confirms the death, saying the security situation in Nigeria is worrisome. Audi describes the security situation in Nigeria as worrisome, saying the corps is on the verge of being rejuvenated to enable it to play its role in the security architecture of the country. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has unveiled an all-female combatant squad as part of its Safe School initiative. NSCDC Commandant General Ahmed Audi inspects a special parade simulation exercise and unveiling of the squad. Audi says the first phase of the squad has been deployed to schools in the Federal Capital Territory and Katsina State. He established the new squad due to the unprovoked and mindless attacks on Nigerians, which has led to the loss of lives. Security chiefs are meeting in Abuja to chart a new course of action in security strategy to address rising insecurity in the country. The meeting, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, had all the service chiefs and top intelligence officers in attendance. Attorney General of the Federation, ministers and defense and Interior are also attending the meeting in the villa. We now join Kabiru Adamu, a security expert, to give us his perspective on the emergency national security meeting. You'd recall earlier in the day, the President Muhammadu Buhari, presided over an emergency national security meeting with the service chiefs in attendance and other top government officials. What do you think were the topic of discourse, the deliberations surrounding this particular meeting that held earlier in the day?
Okay, although the agenda of the meeting and the issues discussed have not been made public, but we can look at the situation in the country and perhaps make a projection of what it is that the meeting discussed. We can also look back and recall that this year the President has convened the National Security Council meeting, I think 4 times in a row. So this would be probably the 4th or 5th year alone. And in all those instances, the issues discussed have to do with hot rising security issues in the country, including the terrorism in the northeast, the banditry and associated kidnapping in the north central as well as northwest of the country, issues around inter-community violence, raiding and banditry in almost all parts of the country, but more especially in the southwest and northwest as well as north central of the country. Then more recently, developments in the southeast, where we've seen security force formations being attacked by what is referred to as unknown gunmen, even though the police has clearly indicated that it is the indigenous people of Biafra and its armed wing, the Eastern Security Network, that is behind those attacks. We've also seen attacks on INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission offices in the southeast and south of Nigeria, mainly this year. These 2 attacks, in my consultancy, we keep a documentation census. We've recorded about 69 of such attacks against security force formations and INEC from January to the end of May 2021. So clearly, these are issues that would definitely make Mr. President uncomfortable and anyone who has responsibility for security. And these are the issues that have likely been discussed at that meeting. Also, June 12 is around the corner. As you know, June 12 is the Democracy Day. And in past years, traditionally, civil activists have rallied around June 12 to put forward issues that affect civil activism and other aspects that affect national security. Now, just a few days ago, the presidency suspended the operations of Twitter, a social media platform, on the grounds that it was supporting certain actions that were affecting national security. Now, some civil society organizations and human rights activists have interpreted that suspension to mean the suppression of the right of fundamental freedoms in the country, including freedom of speech. And there is a lot of mobilization currently going on for some form of protest on June 12th. So that too could have been an item that was discussed at this meeting.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me come in very quickly. You did mention that this is not the first of its kind, this meeting that held today. What do you think this particular meeting would do differently? Because a lot of Nigerians keep asking the question, when are we going to have a lasting solution towards the insecurity issues in the country? And the meeting held today, again, this is not the first of its kind. So what do you think this particular one, how are we going to have a different result, outcome regarding this particular meeting and then the security situation in the country?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen any difference in terms of what the way the previous meeting was held, its membership, those in attendance. I believe, given the current state of insecurity in the country and the issues at play, I would have been happier if I had seen an expanded National Security Council meeting where state governors would be invited, where past presidents would be invited, perhaps even some membership of the National Assembly, leadership in particular of both the Senate and the House, as well as some traditional rulers that are of significant importance in our national security architecture. That type of expanded National Security Council meeting, I think, would have been more beneficial, where the leaders would tell each other the truth, and then they will come out with a single statement. Currently, you are aware that some of our leaders have been making statements that are quite unfortunate. Governors come out on air, on national TV, to say things that governors should never be heard saying. And so if they are given that kind of platform, I think it would reduce that type of unstatesmanly statements by some of these leaders. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. So it appears the outcome of this meeting too will be a continuation of what has traditionally been done, which is the use of kinetic force to manage the security challenges. Unfortunately, the kinetic force has not yielded a lot of results in terms of managing the security challenges. Yes, we see a reduction in some of the security challenges when kinetic force is used, but all that happens is that these issues go underground, they evolve into bigger issues, and so you need to manage them by going to their roots and addressing them. And one of the best ways to do that is to expand the engagement. And whilst you are expanding the engagement, to also strengthen the administration of criminal justice, which has three major elements: the law enforcement element, the judicial system, which would prosecute those that law enforcement arrest, and then the prison and other correctional services, where those persons that are found guilty will be kept. So we need to strengthen all of these three side by side with the engagement that I've mentioned at the beginning.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kabiru Adamu, for your time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And that was Kabiru Adamu, the security expert, giving us an insight on the security meeting. Moving away from security matters, some vehicle owners in Abuja expressed willingness to comply with the directives by the Inspector General of Police, stopping the issuance of the tinted glass permits and spy plate numbers. While some welcomed the idea and others think it's long overdue, others expressed reservations about it.
The Inspector General of Police, in a meeting with senior police officers, directed the immediate suspension of issuance of tinted glass permits and spy number plates. Bashir Yahuza Malimfashi is a vehicle owner in Abuja who feels the policy couldn't have come at a better time.
Actually, the ban is timely, actually, because some disgruntled element used those type of tinted glasses to commit heinous crime all this robbery and what have you that is happening, kidnapping that is happening all this while. Some use us as a gaze to shield the eyes of the people from their atrocities. So it is timely. I support this move.
To me, it's okay, but for those of us that already have cars, that have factory-fitted vehicles, I'm just wondering what they expect people like us to go about it. But actually, it's actually covered up in our papers, so I'm sure the IG of the police will have exceptional preference for we that have factory-fitted vehicles.
General Ibrahim Babangida in February 1991 promulgated a decree prohibiting the tinting and use of cars with tinted glasses. Husseina Usman, Trust TV News.
Trust TV News Update will be back after the short break. Stay with us. Academic Staff Union of University commenting on sack of 18 lecturers in Kaduna State. Chairman of the union, Peter Adamu, says the union is waiting for termination of appointment letters for 18 lecturers of Kaduna State University by the state government for joining labor union strike on May 17 before taking any action. Adamu speaks to Trust TV's Fatima Ladan in an interview.
The annoying and surprising thing about the whole memo is that at the last paragraph, they mentioned that the government should stop our check-off dues. And check-off dues are statutory and they are contained in the Trade Union Act, as amended 2005. And no employer actually have jurisdiction around that, because they cannot discuss it. And again, you must know that labor issues are not issues that state government should debate, because they are strictly in the exclusive legislative list. So it is only the federal government that talk about labor issues.
An end to the ongoing strike by Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JSUN, might not be in sight soon. An Abuja-based legal practitioner, Mutiu Akinsoya, says failure of state governors to fulfill part of the agreement with the union will continue to drag the strike. 2 months after the commencement of industrial action by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, the courts remain under lock and key as members of the union remain resilient in their demand for the implementation of law that grants financial autonomy. Mutiu Akinsoya, a legal practitioner, said hopes were raised that the strike would end soon, but these hopes are no longer realistic as parties are yet to come to terms.
So as we speak now, we're still back to the drawing board because JSUN is not ready to call off the strike, and the governors also across the federation are also not even ready to also obey Section 121 sub 3 of the Constitution.
JSUN is demanding financial autonomy for the judiciary arm of government.
I must tell you that it has largely affected the lives of lawyers, particularly lawyers who are in private legal practice. Most of these lawyers are lawyers who earn their daily income from attending courts. So if the courts are shut down for the last 2 months, what it means invariably is that they are unable to earn income. Not just attending courts, you also have issues of affidavits. There are lawyers who assist citizens to get affidavits. That is also not ongoing. The probate registry of the courts are also shut down.
The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, said Executive Order 10 of 2020 made it mandatory that all states of the Federation should include the allocations of both the legislature and the judiciary in the first-line charge of their budgets. Paul Ananaba, a senior advocate of Nigeria, joins us to give us more insight on the issue. Barrister Paul Ananaba, senior advocate of Nigeria, thanks for joining in. The strike by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria has lingered on for weeks, running to months, and some reports have it that some private lawyers in Lagos State have resorted to driving taxis to earn a living. How do you think this strike has affected legal practitioners in Lagos State?
Yes. As a legal practitioner myself, I understand the biting effects of this. And let me tell you, it is possible that colleagues, particularly younger colleagues, will have to make efforts to make a living. So I won't be surprised if some colleagues quietly turn their vehicle to see driving. Of course, you have to be alive. Uh, uh, the lawyer is coming from since March last year from COVID. When COVID was dying down, or did it die down anyway? We got into NSAS. From NSAS, the COVID was still on, and now for more than 2 months, we're in the third month, the courts are shut down. What do you expect the lawyer to do? So it's possible that colleagues may have resorted to taxi driving, and it's just a survival strategy. I don't think any lawyer will take pride in being a taxi driver, and the profession doesn't also allow that. However, at the upper level, for me, I have 4 law offices, and I have lawyers in all those offices.
Just very quickly, regarding the issues surrounding this strike and, of course, lawyers having to take alternative measures towards sustaining their livelihood, how soon do you think the strike will end and the nation's judicial system return to normalcy?
I do not think that this strike should continue, because we've heard that agreements have been signed. Juson is asking for payment to be made. Yes, it is born out of the previous experience in industrial dispute. The government reneges. But even if the money hits the account, we are made. After the 2, will they guarantee the other months? So I will believe that since the agreement has been signed, the parties will come to with good faith, and that before Friday, this strike should be called off. Remember and don't forget that some Nigerians are in detention because of processes. Many cases are suffering, and many Nigerians, particularly those who can only run to court for remedy.
Thank you so much, Barrister Paul Ananaba. I'm afraid we may have to, that's all we can take for now. Thanks for your time. Barrister Paul Ananaba, a senior advocate of Nigeria, giving us an insight on the issue surrounding the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria strike. Away from that, clashes between traders at Umuahia Timber Market and officials of Abia State Board of Internal Revenue has left 1 dead, 5 others injured. Officials of the Revenue Board come to impose 18,000 naira levy on the traders who tried to resist orders to close shop. Office of Vigilante and official vehicles were burnt. Demands for return to constitutional democracy in Mali have enveloped the West African country following the swearing-in of coup leader Assimi Goïta as interim president. Mali Supreme Court on Monday swears in Colonel Goïta to pilot the affairs of the country until the elections are held. Economic Community of West African States and the African Union have already imposed sanctions on Mali. International organizations are demanding immediate appointment of Prime Minister and respect for the transition period of 18 months to hold elections not later than February 2022, making transitional leaders ineligible in the contest. And that wraps it up for our update today. I'm Aisha Saliu. Thanks for joining us.